Hi, I'm Matt Silk, and this is the Reconstructing Philosophy podcast, back and on a new channel. Joining me for the first episode is Dr. Ian McDonald. Today we have Angela Yamamoto. My guest today is Dr. Gary Foster. Exploring everything from the nature of truth to free will and personal identity to the ethics of artificial intelligence, the podcast showcases the research of scholars working in their field.
And so I'm interested in this intersection between epistemic wrongs, but also ethical wrongs.
And whereas structural realism is trying to preserve something.
Whereas philosophers of love tend to be more focused on what love is and how love works.
I'll ask my guests what got them into philosophy and why these issues inspire them. How'd you get into philosophy? How did you end up becoming interested in pragmatism? Why did you get into this field?
Well, that's kind of a weird and long story.
It starts with me wanting to get my PhD in genetics.
Thought it was all about, self-help.
I'll tease apart details of their work and ask them questions they haven't considered before.
For Peirce, does it matter what the question is?
What do you consider to be the most significant moral problem in AI today?
It strikes me as being more metaphorical language. So are we going to call all metaphorical language make-believe?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Are you willing to be more of a realist there, or do you not have a position?
How can there be a relationship if you want to say that the things that are related don't exist?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Claim to speak for everyone here, but I just don't think that in a case like that we would take that claim as meaning that Italy is an actual boot.
This really provokes thought, doesn't it?
Not a philosopher? Feel like the stuff's too complicated? We'll dig deep into the issues and try to present them in an accessible way.
So if I was somebody new to this, right?
Yeah.
The ship owner sees that there's evidence of damage to the ship, that it's likely not to be able to successfully go on this voyage.
I am an alethic pluralist, which is to say I'm committed to the idea that there are many different kinds of truth. Suppose I'm somebody who just does not believe in ghosts.
So when we're actually trying to measure these things, though, you end up having to use what I think you call mediating models, right?
3 kids guarding the garage is not really 3 cops guarding a bank. The adults on their front lawns are not going to be witnesses to a literal crime. And the cardboard box down the street is not a getaway car.
We're not always good at interpreting the empirical persona of others in order to see their true personhood.
I love you.
Yes, speak to me of love.
I love you.
Now be eloquent, be brilliant for me.
I love you very much.
Zap, you've been fireballed, right? We'd say well, no, that's not true. That's not true in our game of make-believe, right?
You're playing it wrong.
Well, if I don't believe in ghosts, I'm going to say the things you're saying aren't true.
Do you believe in ghosts? I do.
We'll also consider their research and how these issues impact the larger world around us, and consider the role that philosophy should play in society.
If you claim to know something like that, then there really isn't any reason to ask any other questions, is there? Philosophers, for scientists, or for everyone else?
I think it'll be...
Yeah, we are pretending and we are engaging in make-believe.
If anything, this pandemic has shown us what a collective action problem we're facing.
I'm sure they would be horrified at the very thought that that's what they're doing, right?
And what if we do things like put a little Lego man on there and say this Lego man, this is Jim and Jim is on the moon.
So tune in and drop out as we explore a fascinating range of concepts, topics, problems, and issues that have captured the attention of contemporary philosophy.
Have a reconstruction of philosophy. There's very much a pragmatic aspect to this.
It almost opens up a door for a new paradigm.
People think that this is miraculous, and I think it's a miracle.
The Reconstructing Philosophy podcast, reconstructing your preconceptions one episode at a time.
And you find out that you actually want to go into aesthetics instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm really into painting now.
What is food philosophy? What is a sandwich?
Well, the biology still applies there, right?
That's true. That's true.
That is definitely worthwhile. I think it's an important project. I like it in so many ways.